It's been another strange isolation day, and I'm back in my shed this evening. I'm losing the lights. I'm going to get some more lights out, I think, so that my drawing isn't too dark. I'm going to do half an hour sketch today. Just before that, I'm going to clean some of these skulls. These are rabbit skulls. I found this one today outside of Rabbit Burrow on a walk down Pedwell Lane, which had obviously been kicked out by spring cleaning rabbits. These were rabbit skulls I found earlier this week. This is a young rabbit, this is a mature rabbit, this is a rabbit that's being chewed by a fox or a badger probably. So they're going in there. I'm just putting them into some soapy water to wash them, because the skulls don't start often being as white as that. They often need to be cleaned. So just a bit of soapy water. I put a dash of bleach or maybe a bit of Milton in there. Get a parent to do that if you're a young person watching this, just to take away all the bugs. And then I'm just going to soak them in there overnight, give them a good soak, and then I'm going to use a toothbrush, not a toothbrush for teeth, an old toothbrush, to clean them all up. So these were two that I found. All of these were found in Norfolk over the Christmas period. You see these are jaws. When you join the jaws together, they look different. They look like this, like the lower jaws. But the rabbit jaw looks like that when you find it normally out and about, and the teeth, as I've said before, fall out. So you have to glue all those in. So I'm going to put all these kind of dirty ones into there and give them a bit of a wash. So these are the rabbit skulls. These two over here, these are squirrel skulls. You can see they're a different shape. The squirrel skulls have the same rodent's front teeth, very recognisable, but they're yellow teeth, whereas the rabbit teeth are whiter. So squirrels look different from rabbits, and you tend to find squirrels if you're looking in leaf litter and things in the woods. Okay, but tonight we're actually going to be drawing a sparrow skull, which is this tiny little fellow here. It's really quite small. So a beautiful little sparrow skull with its lower jaw look. So we're going to draw this tonight. So I'm drawing with a biro. The light's a bit yellow, so I put a filter on it to drop out the yellow light, and it's made the blue biro look black, but it is a blue biro. Nice light marks to begin with, just trying to get the shape and trying to work out the central line of the skull so you can get the proportions and the balance right on the skull. So you're putting a line up the middle of the skull to follow the contour can be very useful. It's quite easy to make the beak a bit loppy, look a bit scriffy. So I've done that, and then I'm working into the beak to add some dark tone, and then into the, you can see there, working into the premaxillary in the front of the skull, the nasal bones, and then the orbit of the eye. Again, I'm using shading to draw attention to the fact that the orbit of the eye is hollow and traps the shadow, so that you can see that it's a three-dimensional object. And I'm using shading to give some shape to the brain case, to the back of the skull, the parietal bone there at the back, the big kind of the spherical element of the skull. Remember, this is a tiny little skull. It's only, I don't know, it's smaller than 10p. So I'm having to really look to try and pull out those details, and then use the light and the shading to try and show the shape when you're drawing. So again, picking out and highlighting the edges and details and clarifying the drawing. Then doing another study from a different angle, this time from a side angle. So I'm doing, very much from the side. I've had to prop up the little skull so that I can see the side of it, and the shape's different from the side. It's slightly longer and thinner, and the beak's slightly tipped down, you can see. Again, I'm adding shading here to show the eye socket, and then building the lower mandible of the beak, and then showing the shape of the parietal, the back of the skull, the spherical nature of that, again using the shading to show how the light's hitting the top of the skull and give it some definition. There we go. So that's a sparrow skull. Keep drawing, guys.